So welcome on in, everybody. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. It's time for Got Us Down. Got Us Down.
Yeah, okay.
Come on.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Common language in the morning.
Did we hit it? It's so good. Did you listen to it last week?
It was perfect.
It was
I was
so
like, oh,
good.
we just need to harmonize.
I'm telling you. We just gotta, once we get the levels down, it'll be perfect.
I know we have a lot to talk about today, but I love the fact that we make a big deal about it and that our viewers make a big deal about it.
It's beautiful.
It's fun.
It's beautiful. I genuinely am very, very thankful that it's something that everybody enjoys, because we enjoy it and you all enjoy it. So we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep singing for the masses like silly little clowns on the internet. That's what we're going to be doing.
Learn how to harmonize.
Exactly. Yes. Now I got to go take some singing lessons. I got to get all that taken care of, but that's that. What I wanted to talk about first is, of course, welcome into the Common Language Podcast. Always happy to have you here. Joined with me, as always, Nathan, wonderful co-host of mine here on the Common Language Podcast. Today's episode is going to be really quick, like significantly quicker than the other ones.
Yeah, we have a hard stop.
We unfortunately have a hard stop because while we can both yap for a very long time about today's topic, I do have a meeting in about an hour at work. Which is also why we are live streaming this a little bit earlier. So if you are viewing this live stream with us, you're a channel member, and I appreciate everything you do to support my channel here. But if you are just watching the VOD, well, this came out on time for you. So no worries about that.
It'll just be an hour instead of an hour and a half.
Exactly. It'll just be an hour instead of an hour and a half. Very, very close about it. But anyway, first and foremost, Nathan, how was your week in Flesh and
Blood? Uneventful. It froze over here. So, well,
oh my God, over. Yeah, that's right.
It was just like really cold down here.
Yeah, you got the cold front, right? The snowstorm.
Yeah. So I didn't get snow. It did drop below freezing. Upper 20s, which I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's not that cold. Well, it's for here when we're not prepared for it.
Yeah. When you live in the Midwest, that's not cold, but where you are, that's cold.
That's cold. So we normally do Monday night. We were going to do it, but I looked at it and I was like, I'm going to be driving home in like 28-degree weather at night on the highway. For those of you that don't know, I drive an hour to my LGS. It's literally in another state. I drive to Florida. It's only an hour away, but
that's dedication. That's dedication.
Yeah. Well, I like my people over there, and it's a couple of friends that own it, so
right.
I like to support my friends.
Makes sense.
But yeah, so I called. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that tonight. It's just not worth it. So we didn't do anything. But also, I've been watching these videos for the 4-pen decks now that we've seen, which we're going to talk about here in a second. That, like when you get so excited about something, you're kind of like, I'm just going to wait for it to come out.
Yeah.
Before I play anything.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at.
I'm the same way. I'm kind of sitting here. Obviously, we'll get into the discussion on the topic, but like that is something that after watching the 2 videos that are out now, I'm just like, oh, there's so much I could build. and we've only seen like, I don't know, 5 cards. Maybe not even anything insane, but obviously we can get into that in the topic. As far as like my week in Flesh and Blood, not too much. I didn't go to my casual night either on Saturday, just because most of our RTNs are pretty filled to the brim. And so when an RTN happens, a lot of the people that would make it out to casual night tend to not be making it out to casual night, because they're usually either staying because they're absolute champions and they end up making it to top 8s, or they are in a completely different state. For instance, on Sunday, we had a RTN up in Wyoming that's actually one of a close buddy of mine, Tyler, won the RTN on Marionette, so that was pretty cool. Another viewer of the channel and another good buddy of mine, Braxton, got top 4 on Jarl. So I think like nearly everybody that I know locally went to Wyoming and then got top 8. Like Like most of the people I know, whenever they go to Wyoming, it's like just absolutely tear down the house, take a W, go home, right? So yeah, so I didn't do my casual night, but I went to my armory yesterday, and I too owed the event on Huntsman. So got some store credit. It was so funny because it was we didn't expect a lot of people to show up, but it was like a decent amount of people. We still had enough to fire. There was initially 5, but 5 would have left us with an odd man out. Usually, for the record, there's usually like 14 people plus at these events. Yeah. And so just RTN's kind of burnt everybody out at casual play, so they're going to take a break. But that was effectively the case there. We had 5 people show up. One person just didn't want to have the buy and go a little bit longer, and they're just like, oh, my wife will appreciate it if I go back home anyway. So yeah. So they left, and it was just me and 3 other individuals, and it was it was me on Huntsman, and then Fatigue Pleiades, Fatigue Lyeth. Oh well, Lyeth-esque that can be Fatigue, and Jarl. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awful. So
that's when you go. That's when you go and you say, "All right, guys, we're gonna play. Let's grab our event deck. We're doing a UPF
exactly round. Right. Just make it absolutely wild as hell. Winner takes all the store credit.
Just throw at 20 life. Go. You know what? It's something I found out. This is completely random. I don't know what a good topic, but so the other week we did UPF. We did an event. It was a few weeks, like a month ago. Being in January, we did a UPF because we all drafted. And we're like, hey, let's just do UPF. There's 4 of us, whatever.
Right.
We have a blast with the event deck. Like the group I have is just they're really fun.
Right.
Because you have to do it with a good group. Like at the end of the day, you have to do it with a good group.
You do have to do it with a good
group. So I put in, and we do our casual nights on-demand events. We have them set up, so every Monday, whatever. Right now, I have them set to Sage, but like when we get there, sometimes we decide draft, sometimes we decide UPF, like whatever. So we changed it to UPF. I was like, okay, cool, UPF. Update the event to UPF. Oh no, this one I didn't even set it up. Actually, I just created the event, made it UPF. Did you know that you make it UPF, but Gem will not allow you to do like a 4-person thing? It still pairs off them and still wants you to do rounds.
Seriously?
Yes. And I was like, whoa. Gem, what are you doing?
So
we're still casual night on demand, selected UPF, and it still pairs you off and wants you to do rounds.
That's wild. I did not know that. Why in the world would it pair you?
I don't know. So I think we just did like 3 rounds and like just gave everybody XP. We're just like, everybody gets an XP.
That's essentially the cool part. That was like a big thing for on demands when we were doing that at Commoner Night. It's the same casual night, but effectively it was pretty cool because it was just like you'd go there and you'd get XP, and it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, it's like 1 point of XP, but that's still kind of cool that you're getting it, right? So yeah, it's that's wild that it would pair you like that. That doesn't make any sense.
Just a random thing of like, hey, LSS,
all right,
tell me more about how you love UPF.
I'm sure the amount of times LSS has paired UPF games is not enough for them to be like, oh, we have a problem. Like, who's it? There's maybe like 5 people collectively over the course of like a month that are actually queuing up a UPF game. So not to shit on UPF players.
No, I know. But it's just fun.
It is funny.
I do hope that they kind of lean more into that though, because the event deck makes things really fun, and I think it would be fun to have different types of event decks going in.
I'm sure it's not the last. I'm sure
heavily
it's not the last.
About that because someone was saying. So I'm going to jump into this topic real quick.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about quickly Icelander, the wizard boots that were on there.
Yeah. Aether Wellingtons or whatever the
Aether
those things are called. Yeah.
I actually have it up. I have it up right here. Give me a second. It is wizard boots. Where are you? Is it not up here? It's got to be up here. It's on. I'm on February. It's got to be up here. Yeah, Aether Storm Wellington.
Yeah, Aether Storm
Arcane
Wellington.
Barrier 2.
Yep.
So this is actually relevant into what we were just talking about. So don't worry, I'm going to get there. It's that I was like, Aether Wellingtons are really cool. Arcane Barrier 2 on boots for Wizard. Like, I think that's awesome. The thing that is slightly annoying is the fact that that's all they do. and there's that just means it's in there for the mirror wizards. And
Yeah,
so I was saying that, and someone was like, "Well, maybe they'll come out with an arcane class." It's like, well, like I think druid having several different forms, maybe one of them could be arcane. That would be fun if they do like a shapeshifter. And
right.
someone else was like, "Oh, but what about cleric?" And I was like, "Well, cleric really, unless they do like a UPF style thing, cleric isn't gonna come out anytime soon." And someone was like PV, and I was like, they've given up on PV. Like although here's the interesting thing, when they said that we're not doing PvE, like we're shelving it,
Yeah,
would probably be about the time that they started developing Sage.
yeah, I'd believe it. Yeah,
Because if you like look back, like they said they've been working for a year, that was probably about a year ago, maybe a little bit more. That was probably about the same time, because ultimately PvE would have been a way to bring in more casuals, play the
yeah,
game, whatever, and then you could go into that. Whereas Sage is a much better way of introducing people to casual play of the whole game.
yeah,
Um, I hope that they still do PvE. They'll still be in there. But anyways, I say like those boots, while those boots are really, really cool, the fact that they only do Arcane Barrier 2, and that's it. They're basically just a better null rune.
yeah,
I think is, while nice, does just mean it's for the mirror,
for sure.
essentially.
I mean, they're definitely only for against other wizards because I mean, you're not gonna you don't need AB2 into illusionist. You don't need AB2 into rune blades. So having
And you already
something like that is
most of the time your chest is going to be an AB1 chest anyways.
exactly
Like,
right. So you're already getting this probably the Spellfire Cloak. If you got Spellfire Cloak on there, it's got AB1. And so what this does is it allows you to have AB3 without you having 3 pieces of Arcane Barrier.
yeah.
You just need 2 pieces of Arcane Barrier now, which means that now you free up your arm slot and your head slot in Icelander, for example, to allow yourself a little bit more leniency in value. I know a lot of people are trying out this the Glacial Horns Conduit of Frostburn stuff, right? Where it's like freeze your arsenal, deal arcane damage, blow up your opponent's arsenal.
No, that is true, because
So,
it does free up those 2 spots, so
yeah,
you're able to do a little bit more. Because I do think Glacial Horns, in general, I think Glacial Horns is a fantastic card.
yeah,
Like I love it. I've run it in Lexi before. Um, like a control Lexi, like I think it's a really good one. I pretty much always run it in Icelander. I know some people
yeah.
prefer the armor pieces, but I love it in Icelander. Like
Glacial Horns is great. I love that card.
just controlling someone's arsenal,
Yeah,
freezing them out, especially a control deck. Like I would rather that and slow down their turn than I typically do that over, say, extra block power
yeah.
on my
And
helmet.
the best part is that in most cases, you can kind of assume if you're going against a wizard, that's either Arcane Polarity down there or that's Oasis Respite. And in both situations, if you pop Glacial Horns, your opponent either has to play that at that moment to get it out of there, or they just lose it because they're going to take arcane damage. So
Yep.
it's pretty cool to be able to just like stop that entire turn and go, okay, cool. Well, that was the thing that was going to stop this big arcane spell. Now you don't get to do that. So
Yep.
it's always a very powerful thing.
100%.
But
So,
anywho,
these decks.
yes.
Let's talk about these decks.
Yeah.
We don't have to go into specific cards, although I do want to talk about a couple of special equipment.
Yeah.
But these decks overall, watching them. So number one, I'm curious how many times they had to play those games to get like the best game, because
Right.
all of those games were actually really good.
Yeah.
And they did a good job of kind of showcasing the hero and some of the odd choices in there, like energy potion being in Fi, I think is kind of stupid. But they were, picked the perfect game to kind of showcase.
Now, and to be fair, energy potion's been in Fi in previous iterations of the hero. Like there have been ways in which energy potion works out because it's a free, instead of having to pitch a blue to swing your Emberblade, you instead just get to have the Emberblade swing on board at all times, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
sometimes that's good.
Yeah. So one of the things I thought was interesting was Frosthaven Sheath, that Icebond defense reaction, was not in the Icelander deck, which
correct. Yeah.
feels kind of weird.
That is weird. That is weird to see that it's not in there because I definitely was expecting it to be there.
Yes.
So I'm not sure why it wasn't.
Yeah. And so that feels a little bit weird. So there's a little bit of odd things going on in there that I'm like, I think that this is and just I'm not saying it's bad. Like I obviously they did this. I think too, if you look at it, number one, we don't know, like for instance, Frostbite, that Frost Spike, the creative Frostbite and
Yep.
exposed equipment zone. That is number one. It is an Ice Wizard instant, which I
Yep.
found interesting that it wasn't an Ice instant.
Right.
I did find that interesting because I feel like Jarl would love that card.
I think if you
Uh,
put a non-blocking card in Jarl, you're crazy. So it's,
probably,
that's a little
probably.
bit different. It's cool. It's cute, but he gets to do that as a zero power, right? Like I think
Yeah,
that's a little.
that's true. That's true. Um, so I thought that card was interesting. I do think that Icelander needed a card like that, and
Yeah.
that feels good. I really
Hmm.
like that they brought that in there. Um, just kind of looking through what we have so far. So that was kind of the only thing that really stuck out to me in the Icelander deck was the Frostbite, and
Right.
that feels right that should be in there, and it
Yeah.
made a difference in that one game. Um, and I think it's going to make a difference in a lot of games,
Yeah.
quite frankly. Like it's the fact that I don't need this in the arsenal, and I can still give you two Frostbites essentially.
Yep.
I do wonder,
At minimum, you
can
get two
can
frostbites.
you? Yeah, I do wonder though if you play this out if they don't have an exposed zone, can you still play it?
Yeah, you can still play it. I think
Or you just have no
there's no
frostbite?
exposed zone. Yeah, so like it's the same deal. Like Jarl says the exact same thing. Where if you play an ice card, put a frostbite in your opponent's exposed zone. If they don't have one, they don't get a frostbite. So, but in this scenario, they do get a frostbite. Still,
Yeah,
it's just not in the exposed zone because you're still playing a blue on your
yeah,
opponent's turn. So you're still giving your opponent two frostbites. It's still a blizzard, effectively. Like
yeah.
you play your blue, your opponent plays a card, you play your blue from your arsenal, and then you play frostbite.
Yep,
Your opponent now has two frostbites they have to deal with, and if they're an all red deck, like that crumbles their
yep.
turn. Even if you
It
don't get
crumbles
one in
over.
the zone. But like that's the other thing is that most aggro decks have equipment they can blow up for value. The pouncing
Mhm.
paws and tearing Shuko and even just like Blossom of Spring in general. If your opponent plays Blossom of Spring, like they
Yeah,
activate it, you can then just go, okay, cool, snap a blue from my arsenal, snap the frostbite from my hand. Now you have three frostbites you have to deal with, and you have one floating resource. Like, deal with
I do
that.
think it.
Like,
I think it pushes. I think it makes Icelander better. I will say this: I'm very disappointed and also kind of excited at the same time that Crucible of Aether Reef didn't have an alternate art to make it icy.
yeah, that's right. You were saying that
And
you wanted to have
so
it.
that just means that I have to make my own.
You
So
have work
while
to
I'm
do.
disappointed, I'm excited to make my own. I'm gonna make my at home one. And so that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, watching these decks, watching them play out. Number one, I felt like the games were a lot longer than my typical
Hmm.
Sage game.
Well, and
So it
that's,
was
I
like,
mean, you have to assume, right? And I think that a lot of that came down to, when I was watching the one yesterday, when, with Liv and Aiden, I was like, this game is probably over 10 minutes ago. If it wasn't for the fact that they have to talk about every card and every effect that is on every
that's
card.
true.
So it's probably cutting a lot of time. But I mean, like, you have the dash, and dash is like, these builds are really, really cool. I think, I think just based on my own knowledge of the format, taking a look at the four that we've seen so far, it's crazy how close the dash deck is to the one that I've built, and the
Yeah.
ones that I've seen. But also, like it, a lot of these decks kind of don't look. This is the consensus I'm seeing a lot of places is that while there are new cards in these decks, they're not new, most of them. Like
Yes.
every now and again, there's like a card that's new or a piece of equipment that's new, right? I think the Phi deck showcased far more cards that were
Oh
brand
yeah.
new than any of the other ones. And the rest of the decks have had like one card, maybe two cards, but like even the Dory deck only had two new pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
And these are apparently decks that are supposed to be able to win you a calling out of the box. And
Yeah.
I personally do not think that those two pieces of equipment that you get, the Unity equipment in Dory, is enough to make her win a calling. Like,
Okay, well, hold on. Okay. That's I feel like right there is two different things. So these decks are the power level to win a calling. The what you're just talked about there though is when we talk about power level to win a calling, there's a power level to win a calling, but Dory's not going to win a calling.
right.
I think those are two different
But
things going on here.
I feel like that's
Is
also
Dory's
kind of
just
the
not set
thing.
up to win a
That's what I
calling.
mean though. I feel like it's either just a misstep in the marketing or whatever it need be, because obviously, like, you can't expect all 10 of these heroes that are going to come out in these stage decks to win a calling, because some of those decks do really good into other versions of the deck. And like,
Yeah.
sure, you could win a calling, but it is calling winning potential of a deck. But what do you have to not play in order for you to get there with your deck, right? Like, the dash deck seems super cool, but if you block 4 a whole bunch, the deck no longer seems that cool, and it's just like, oh, okay, dash will never win so long as other cards exist. I feel like it's I don't know, it's in a strange place, because I want to believe that obviously that was the initial concept, was that these are decks that you could take out of the box and you can go win your pro quest with or anything there. But it's more so just that they're at the price point and power level of where you can win those things, but it's not a meta deck.
Yeah, well, to me, when I look at, yes, to your point, yes, it's not a meta deck. To me, when I look at it more of, if I'm going to win a calling with Dory, these are the cards I would need. You still have to win the calling with Dory, which you're probably not going to do.
I'm sorry, Nathan, do you need Wreck Havoc in your deck for when you're playing Dory at a calling?
That's debatable.
Yeah,
is that in the deck? I
thought.
I didn't see that one played out.
Wreck Havoc is in the deck, and so for the record, all the deck lists are posted in the, or not all of them, I should say. They will eventually be all posted.
That one wasn't up yet. Okay, it's up now. So yeah. The website, after it came out, their website crashed.
It did crash. Yeah. So the deck list for Dash, Dory, Fi, and Icelander are all up now.
Oh, yeah, there's one Wreck Havoc in there. I see that now.
But like, for why? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can board it out. Like, it's a 47 card deck.
But what are you boarding it in for?
So much. I got Nip on My Heels, Trot Along, Hit and Run. Like, there's so many different options in here that, yeah, you can just board that out. That's not a big
deal. But that's the thing, is like, boarding it out is one thing, but you're putting it's the one popper in your deck, and like, that's why they put it in there. Did they put it in?
That's probably the one popper.
But if that's the case, why not just put Blanche in there? I think we all know collectively that Herald of Triumph is a card, and you'd much rather just block with, like, even Battlefront Bastion, right? Make it a common. Battlefront Bastion blocks for 2 or 3.
I get it. The thought process is, right, you can stop defense reactions and you can popper, which is a real thing.
But what are you stopping defense reaction? Like, you're supposed to be getting value on your sword.
I'm going to be honest. When I look at this, so one of the things I did with Warriors in Clash is I did let me see if I can find this card real quick. And I'm going to say the name of the card so that I did Wage Agility as my popper.
But you were also playing Olympia.
Yeah, but I started mainboarding it in other Warriors too. Anytime I had dual ones,
right,
I would, like, if I needed go again, like Dory, I started doing Wage Agility because I liked it, because it was, number one, you're running a lot of blues, and number two, it's a popper. So it's either it's a 7 with the possibility of an agility on the backside, and it's a popper. And so 7 damage is still 7 damage when you're sending it at somebody.
I mean,
so I can still block with 2 cards, 10-7 damage, wage and agility, probably get that agility, and then set up my next turn.
But I mean,
so it's a setup turn while you still send 7.
I can't imagine it being like your opponent's gonna send 14 points of damage at you in an aggro turn, and you're gonna go, okay, cool, I'll send 7. Like, it doesn't even block for 3. It only blocks for 2.
Yeah. No, it does. But my point is, I'm just saying, like, that's better than
For sure. It's a card. I
other
think it would make even more sense in Dory to have a Wage Agility than it does to have a Wreck Havoc, because at the end of the day, it's not about like, oh yeah, my opponent's not able to play D-reacts into this. Like, if you are already playing into a hero that has a massive amount of D-reacts into you, your whole game plan should not rely on one copy of Wreck Havoc. It just is not.
Yeah,
it does not make. It's probably 2 copies also for the record, but like, it might not be.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it too. Like, you look at this, and yes, you are right. So most of these aren't new. I'm okay with them not having a lot of new stuff, because that allows you to change your deck. I think the power level wise, these are fine, and then you don't have too much Compendium of Wraith stuff, so you can update your deck in here. But like, I'm looking at this list, like run through. Most people don't realize this run through is from Classic Battles. You know how hard it is to get a hold of this card.
Well, run through is not.
And here it is reprinted here.
It's
a must-have in Dory. It's a must-have in Kasai.
Is run through expensive?
So yeah, so I think that. Yeah, the dash being Plasma Barrel Shot or Talishar is very interesting to me.
I mean, that's the build. That's the build I used. Like, it is literally Talishar if you go second. Talishar if you go second, Plasma Barrel Shot if you go first. That's okay. And that's just because first turn you get to go load Plasma Barrel Shot, keep your Hyperdriver up. Maybe, if you have too many reds in your hand and you don't want all that, like, that's the best part is you can pitch 2. Plasma Barrel Shot, put a card in Arsenal, pass, and then your next turn is like insane, because your next turn can be boost, Plasma Barrel Shot for 5. So
yep. So I'm looking at these decks. Just kind of looking at this. So number one, I'm glad that they showed Fi and Icelander first.
Yeah,
because those showcased, I think, probably the most new cards.
Yes.
When we look at Dory and Dash, Dory has 2 equipment, which are phenomenal equipments. I cannot say enough how
I think they're pretty
good they are. No. You're talking about a deck. If it's a full suite of armor, I could see Dory's going full 4. Like, even the chest, I was like, I would want the chest in that, if that exists, which I'm going to assume it does. I would want the chest over the 1 destroy, get 1 point.
Right.
The fact that I'm a deck that wants to block a couple times in a turn, like, that's just naturally what you want to do. That gives me 3 extra block on these equipments when I'm doing the thing that I want to do anyways.
Exactly.
That is, if I do a full suite of it, which with Dory you're not going to, but that essentially means you get 10 armor. If I do 3 pieces, because I think I would want to do all 3, you get 10 armor because you got the boots in there. That puts you at 30 health. Granted, you got to block, but you're blocking anyways. You block anyways. You block with your cards anyways.
Yeah.
So that means that you're stopping 5 blocks and you're stopping 4 blocks from those pieces.
Yeah.
First time you're stopping 5, second time you're stopping 4. That means when I'm going against an aggro deck that's dealing 16 to me, I'm gonna block 8 of it, give or take, potentially more. Sometimes they come in with 5 and you got it to block with.
Yeah.
Then I'm turning around sending roughly about the same depending on what your cards are. You'll get there. Like, I really think you'll get there, because they're not blocking, and if you can do 5, 6, 7, 8 damage to them while stopping 8, that number one puts them on a timer, puts you on a timer, because that's what they do.
Right.
But a lot of times these aggro decks will have off turns. I think in the case of Dash, I honestly think you just block and let her run herself out.
Yeah.
To be honest, with a warrior, I think that's what you want to do.
That's
but
against the plan.
Against Chain, you can probably get a couple hits early, stop and block them enough, maybe get towards there. I don't know. Chain, I think, still kind of wins the day. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to block out 4 rune chance plus 7 damage plus 6.
Yeah, like, I think he gets
damage
there no matter
3.
what.
So,
But I think it gets in no matter what. But I do see like against any other aggro deck, like Briar's really popular and stuff.
mhm,
I think you beat Briar. Like it's not just like a foregone conclusion because right now Briar does not struggle against Dory. Granted, Dory will have some crazy turns. Like I'm not saying that she doesn't,
mhm,
but it's not a scary thing for Briar to beat her
yeah,
with 3 extra block. Because even then, like she's got 1 block, so you basically get a couple extra. Like that is big. Your build for your Olympia, like Olympia, just shot up in his power level, in his
yeah,
blocking power level.
yeah. Blocking is
Like
definitely
so much so that
huge.
I don't know that aggro can beat him very easily.
Aggro had a pretty good chance into Decimator Olympia just because a lot of the stuff like the attack actions I have, they usually end up blocking for 2 and not really for 3. But and also I have to pay a resource into my D reacts. So technically
Yes.
there is the value there, but I think the benefit for this is that now I take that I'm at 11, my opponent's at 12. I block with the Final Spring Tuic and one of these temper pieces, and I'm blocking for a breakpoint, and I gain a life. So
Yep.
that's kind of
Find
huge.
out fighting spirit.
Yeah, fighting spirit. I don't.
You said spring tunic, and I was like,
You
you
know what
can't
I
block
meant.
with a tunic,
Yeah,
but
I'll block with the tunic all day, any
it
day.
took me a minute to realize what we were talking about. Yeah, but yeah, no, 100%. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think this equipment. So these kind of coming into this before we definitely need to switch because we only have about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I get what they're trying to do with these. I get now why they come with a compendium of Wraith or a compendium.
Booster
Yeah,
pack.
compendium of Wraith.
Yep.
A booster pack. I get why they come with a booster pack because then you can change your cards. I think what they're basically showcasing is these heroes have a way to go and you can build this out. If these don't come with cards that aren't in the set, like if those cards that are in the deck aren't in the set, I think these are worth it. If these are just cards that are in the set, I think if these are just cards that are in the set, then then the starter decks will do exactly what they want, which is get new players old cards.
Yes.
What they won't do is for enfranchised players like us, like I look at this and go, if this is what they are, like it's not worth me buying them.
Absolutely. And I think that's also the
And I
thing.
think that's okay.
I would hope that that's what this is, right? This is a way for enfranchised players to look at this product and go, this isn't for me. I own all of these things. I opened up a case of Compendium of Wraith.
Well, some
I
of
have all
people
these
don't.
cards.
Some people don't. Like I know people that they've been playing for about a year, 2 years tops.
Right.
They're constantly asking me for WTR, Arcane Rising, like all these old cards.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, hey, you can just have the deck.
Yeah.
You can have the cards that you need. And they just want the specific cards that their class needs that they're working with
Right.
as they're making these Sage decks. And so these do exactly that for anybody who hasn't played since the beginning, like
Mm-hmm.
us, or well, year 2. You know, I started at the beginning of year 2. I know you started, I think, Uprising.
Yeah.
So year 3, like, but it hasn't taken as long to grab all those. So I think these decks are doing exactly what they need to do, which is get newer players in the past 2 to 3 years, the cards that they need. Compendium of Wraith, you're gonna up. I say upgrade. You're really just changing, like, and I
But
think that's what they're trying to
uh,
showcase here. Is
and
that
to that point though, not to cut you off, to that point, why if these decks need to be upgraded,
I don't
why
think they
are
need to be upgraded.
but
That's kind of my point. I think you're doing a sideways shift.
just like in case you don't want like to play Dawnblade and you want to play different weapons, you don't have to
Well,
like get cards or
that or like I look at like Icelander and they go like, hey, I want that Ice D react. I don't need that Ice D react. Icelander functions like they gave her that instant in there
for
to make it function
sure,
well.
for
But
sure.
the Ice D react to me would feel better than Absorbent Aether, which is what they have in there.
Right.
Like I would do Absorbent Aether over that Ice D over or I would do the Ice D react over
Right.
Absorbent Aether. Like personally, that's what I would do.
Right.
I get what they're trying to do with that, and I think it makes perfect sense what they're trying to do with that. But I would just prefer the IC React
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I think what they're doing is they're saying, hey, these cards are playable, these are good. And then if you want to side grade, I would call a Compendium of Wraith a side grade. If you want to side grade it, you can go more into ice if you want to. But we've given you the necessary cards from Compendium to make this deck viable. Because they really needed that instant in order to be a viable competitive deck. Like I think Icelander is very competitive now with
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, I also think Icelander definitely had quite a bit of compatibility to her, even before this, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm happy that she's getting new cards, right? There's no reason they wouldn't print new cards for a new deck that they are bringing out for Icelander. But I just like, I guess I'm just curious because we take a look at the cards that are in the deck, and I mean, it is insane for me to sit here and see all of these individuals who are talking about these cards and going, these are ass. Like, not good at all. There are Icelander players who had been playing Icelander for since she came out in CC and taking one look at Frostspike and going, this is awful. It's not good at all because your opponent's almost never going to have an exposed zone because Blade Beckoner equipment exists. And like that doesn't ever go away. Ice is not going to be getting more cards that are just like, all right, let's destroy something with a -1 counter on it in pen, maybe. But even still, if that's the case, they weren't showcased in the deck. So it was just kind of an assumption that your opponent is obviously going to be destroying a piece of their equipment to get that value from Frostspike. And I think there's a ton of value in Frostspike. I think it's a busted card. Maybe not busted. It's pretty good.
Yeah. It's really
But
good. It doesn't even matter if they don't have anything. Giving them an extra
right.
frostbite, that's like a 3 block right
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
It gets aggro.
And I think that's the big case of it, is that it's still an additional Frostbite. I think it's just there's so many people who are just like, these are supposed to be the competitively viable decks that you can take out of the box and apparently go win a calling. But I think we all know from our experiences in the current Sage meta that we know is probably not changing a whole lot, besides some heroes are getting slightly better cards, is that most people are going to look at that Dory deck and go, that still needs to be upgraded. Because like, why would you be playing, I don't know, I think there's like Blue Puncture in that deck, or Wreck Havoc, right?
No, Blue Puncture makes sense.
But like blue, but why not blue like Precision Press instead? You know?
Oh no, there's no Blue Puncture in this deck.
There isn't. Okay, there was something like, but
there's
like that's
putting contacts in this deck.
Putting contacts is kind of fun, right? It's a D-react, right? I think that's the thing, is like I see these decks and I see that they have things in it that help
there's
against.
A Blue Puncture, you're right.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, why do they have the cards that exist within the deck? Right, we're getting precons that have a sideboard and arcane barrier, which is something that our people for the armory decks have wanted for forever, because that was not introduced in there.
Every single one of these is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's some of them are 3 pieces of Blade Beckoner equipment in a Blossom Spring. Like that is the sweet. So at least the equipment is fine, right? But you take a look at the main deck and you're like, this is supposed to be competitively viable. It's not even viable. It's supposed to be a deck that you can play to win a calling, according to the developers. And I think many people who are Dory fans, Icelander fans, you know, they're taking a look at those decks specifically and they're going, these are bad. Why the hell would you play this? Because there's probably going to be better things that are coming out in Pen, and there are better choices overall than like red Polar Cap, right? Like, there are just better choices.
Yeah, and we've seen some of them. And I think overall, I think at the end of the day, I think that these are, like Pyroglyph of Protection in Icelander.
Exactly,
like,
right. Like, that's what I'm saying.
I think
is
overall,
like, there are things that can change.
Yes, no, there's a lot of things that can change. And I think overall, like, I'm fine with what they're doing here. I get what they're doing in the sense of they're bringing the old cards forward that newer players are going to need.
Yes.
And then they're allowing people to get Compendium of Wraith boosters. Because I was also thinking, in my head, I was like, if they put too many Compendium of Wraith cards into this, what is the point of getting a booster box? So I get what they're trying to do. They're pulling cards forward. Here you go. Here's a starting point. You can side grade it if you want to. I think a lot of people will side grade it. I do think I look at these and go like, okay, I'm probably not going to buy these now because it's literally cards that I have.
Right.
That being said, I am going to probably side grade them a little bit from Compendium Wraith stuff and get them to a fantastic working point. I think I'm okay with that. Like I think that is perfectly fine way to approach this. That being said, we have about 15 minutes to talk about what we really wanted to talk about, but I think this conversation was important.
Yes.
We're gonna probably talk. So next week we're gonna have all the cards. We're gonna actually go through our list of our 10 favorite
Yep.
cards. We're gonna do it live for everybody.
Yep.
So stay tuned to that. I'm sure we'll have a little bit more of this conversation, and I'm sure that this conversation will continue over the next couple
We
of
will.
months
I mean, these
as
next,
we start seeing real decks come out.
yeah, these next three days, we're gonna see based on the Tuesday that we're recording this, we're gonna see more decks every single day come out, and with the new cards and so on and so forth. And then on that 31st, we're gonna see the rest of the commons and rares. So we'll definitely have that stream going, and we probably will have a pretty lengthy discussion on the viability of those decks and of just the overall what we see are better cards in pen that they decided to maybe not put in the decks for some reason. But we'll have that discussion there. What we do want to talk about though is our listener questions. We have a section here. We decided to start up a listener questions thing because we want to hear from the community and have a nice little topic of discussion and so on and so forth. And so our question to the community was, what's the one thing you'd want out of Compendium of Wraith? Right. And what is that one thing?
And we had a lot of great things.
Yeah.
I also put it out on my BlueSky.
Yep.
I'm trying to pull it up, and so a lot of people came at me with a lot of really good things. I'm trying to see where I posted this.
Yeah, I have it pulled up here. I know we have Lupine Fiasco saying a compelling reason to play Aurora instead of Briar. So
Which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, shout out to Lupine. I think really that is something that it's a flavor thing, right? And so hopefully if you enjoy the playstyle of Aurora over Briar, do that because it's still the same ceiling of incredibly potential damage. It's just on a different axis, and it's the only reason I choose Briar over Aurora is because I like blocking, and Briar allows me to block sometimes a bit better. But Aurora, if you're trying to do hyper aggro instant lightning shenanigans, like that's the deck you're going to want to play. So.
Yeah, I think that basically the basic thing with Aurora that I found is there's not enough go again.
Yeah.
Stuff happening, and the whole point of her is to have a lightning build that doesn't require non-attack actions in order to go ahead.
Right.
So like her ability is more of like I have some leftover resources, let me just trigger it, and so there's just not enough of this. Like we just need some stuff that gives it that gives like the next thing go again and does it, like her specialization.
And I'm sure
right?
we will see new lightning cards for sure. So
yeah, I'm sure
we are overdue for that.
Nora, Star of the Swag, she had said a good suite of ice and earth cards for Oldham. I think Oldham's already good. I don't know that we need to see that. We've already seen
Nora
good blocks.
Is so if you don't know, Nathan, Nora is actually a local of mine. She's absolutely hilarious. Always shit posting on the internet. Nora is a big fan.
I just thumbs it up and I was like,
yeah,
you should already be excited, Nora.
And that's it, right? Like I think that really it's just that Nora loves playing Oldham in the format, and it's the only thing that's really like that she wants to play. So I think that obviously with elemental cards, pretty good. I expect we're going to see some more Earth stuff also because Terra is the deck that they're showcasing for the Guardian. Sorry, it's Bravo Flighting Showman. What am I talking about?
It's Flowman.
It's Flowman. That's right. So
not Flavo, it's Flowman.
Flowman,
confused with his cousin Flavio.
Golly, and that's so. Yeah, Oldham's gonna be fine. I don't know, Nora. Oldham's gonna be fine. The only thing that's not gonna make Oldham fine is when everybody bans him in 3 months because
I know
he's gonna get hit, and people are gonna be sad.
So I do want to call out I'm going to kind of put the next couple together because it's really like several.
Yeah.
People keep asking for wizard stuff, and a lot of people have asked for Blaze. If you don't know, which I think most people do realize, Blaze was a promo.
Yep.
So while she's legal in Blitz, Stage is not allowed to have promo heroes. It's only common and rares. So I think that's been the number one ask overall. I think we will see Blaze eventually. I don't know if we're going to see her in this set though.
We're not going to see her here. I cannot
Uh,
I cannot
I
stress enough that
I
we are not going to see new heroes in this set.
I disagree with you.
I, d-
We have had
I hope you're right.
every expansion set has had new heroes.
Yeah, but they've had new
Every single one.
heroes, but they've had new heroes that they've had to make specific cards for in that same set in order for them to be somewhat of an actual
Not really.
hero.
I mean, like you look at Yoji. Yoji came out.
Okay, yeah, but
You have all the merchants.
Yoji isn't going to get a downgrade to rare. Like,
No, he's not. He's not. But I'm just saying, like, we've had heroes in every single set that have done pretty well in Blitz. I could see them doing something like that. Like, hey, let's bring some over,
you know what?
or let's just make brand new.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I don't think that is going to happen. I do not think at all there's going to be any heroes in this set. I think this is going to be strictly a pump up the stuff, and that's because I think they said something in regards to. No, they didn't. It's I just don't think there's any heroes. I don't think there are. I don't think there are any heroes in the set. And it's just because, like, I think also now I have to check because you can see what the breakdown is of the cards inside of the set. And I don't believe it says there are any tokens or basic cards in the set. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, so the rarity distribution, you've got a total of 23 Marvels, 8 Legendaries, 59 Majestics, 124 Rares, and 142 Commons.
That's a lot of rares.
Yeah, it's a lot of rares. I genuinely
so you could
think
have
that
some heroes in those rares.
Yeah, the only thing I would consider they'd probably make a basic card for is if there's a new mechanic that has a new token, kind of like Flurry,
yes,
right?
100%.
So that's about it. But I do not think there's going to be new heroes.
I think we might see some. Going over into our Discord. I know we're kind of blasting through because I want everybody to know we see you.
Yes.
So I know one of the things, actually, this I found interesting. So I asked this question to Scowling Fleshbag on one of his live streams, and he had said, I want them, basically, he was like, I want them to put in a basic, the gist of it was essentially having, what I took it as, is having silver bullets for OP strategies, like making sure that there's not a big enough, making sure that there's not an OP strategy and having cards that can counter it. And I think we see that a lot in the Majestic level and CC, right? Those are our kind of our counter cards. We don't have a lot of those in Sage. Like we don't. And you know, we're starting to see a little bit more. We've had a couple here and there. We have several different Arsenal disruptions now that are in generic, right? Like Rook Havoc, one of them. There's another like Smash Up, I think, that destroys a attack action in your arsenal if it hits. So there's things in there, but they're not. Yeah, I would like to just kind of see some more, just kind of some generic disruptors, things to kind of handle those. I think one of the things that we do need to see probably is maybe unpreventable damage, right? Because we are going to get in our illusionist, and I'm assuming she's going to get some upgrades in there, but just some unpreventable damage. I think we're probably going to.
Well, I mean, you have Pick to Pieces. That's a card that does unpreventable damage.
That's.
You're looking for
like,
generic unpreventable damage.
Well, not even maybe some generic, but even just some. You know, like what they had to do is they had to give Warrior a bunch in the Majestic level just to make sure that they can survive.
For sure. Yeah, kind of. Well, I mean, that's the other thing is I guess we'd have to know. I think that's also the thing is they made the set with Silver Age in mind, but they also doesn't seem like they might have understood where the meta was going to go for all of this. And so I think it's very curious to see what is going to actually come of it. Like what did they make in the set that's going to be like, we knew that this hero was going to be busted, and then nobody plays that for 6 months, and it's like, we made that whole card and it doesn't really do anything in that hero because they can just loop around it.
Yeah, I know Brackzilla said they want to see some more variety of equipment specs. I just want to see more variety of specs in general. I think specs, obviously, you know, we played a ton of Clash. I love specs.
Yep.
That is what has helped. That is what helps in Clash to make every hero unique. And so I just want to see more specs in general because I feel like some of these heroes kind of feel so-so. And I think giving them some nice specs will help. Like I would love to see, um, I would love to see Riptide actually get some cool trap specs, right? Like
Riptide's
that's what
really
made him
that
so
would be
good.
cool. I would love that. I'd love Riptide
And
specs.
yeah, so I want to see some more specs. I know like in CC they keep trying to push him, and so they keep giving him specs, and he still hasn't gotten better. But
Yeah,
in Clash, he actually was a solid choice because he had so many specs.
yeah,
And I
absolutely.
just want to see a little bit more of that. Um, Chase said he wants to see of Alchemist support. Don't think we're going to see that.
Yeah, that would be cool though. Even if it's just like a couple potions or something, to be like, oh, okay, maybe this is silly, right? That would be funny.
Yep,
I
yep.
know it
I
looks
do
like
see Chase.
Greg
Go ahead.
also.
Oh
I
yeah,
just want to see Greg shout to Darth Prentice. Wants an axe pummel and more ways to generate vigor on brute. Well, they took away all the cards that generated vigor and brute because that's
I
busted as
know.
hell. So, well, not all the
I know.
cards, most of the cards. So, but an axe pummel would be sick because axe pummel means that I can play it in Decimator Olympia, and that would be
Yes, yes.
crazy
I
work.
do want to see that.
That would be crazy work.
Yama had said more fleshed out, distinct playstyle for war. I don't think we're going to get that this
Sounds
set.
like
I think
sounds
we'll
like you're
get
not
that in the
getting it,
future.
Yama. Sounds like you're not getting it. You're gonna figure out if they print more sharpened cards, and
Yeah,
that's about
I
it.
think we'll start seeing that. Yeah, but with that many commons and that many rares, I think we're going to see some really, really cool stuff
Yeah,
in here. I do think that there's going to. That's so many. I love the fact that they're really emphasizing the commons and rares because they've definitely lowered down the legendaries and lowered down the majestic. Well,
yeah.
primarily the majestics. Legendaries is about the same, um, but the I do want to see kind of a little bit more fleshed out play styles. Like that is so many cards. I think that's like the most cards we've ever had in a set, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's huge. Yeah, it's definitely I think the largest set next to like I don't know, maybe Monarch was like pretty large. I
Well,
think Monarch
Monarch was
was
very
like a
large.
pretty large set, but I think this is a bit larger than that, and most of it being rares and commons. Like we already know, there's for one, there's no Fabled in this set. Just the Fableds that are in the gold pack or in the antiquities packs.
Yep.
There's no Fabled. We know all of the legendaries in the set. They're all reprints. So
Yep.
the Majestics are going to get spoiled right before the event in London.
We've seen a few. We've seen a few.
Yeah, some of the Majestics have been spoiled so far, but more of them are going to be through content creators and so on and so forth. So really, 124 rares,
Well,
142
and there's a
commons, like
lot of
that's a lot of
there's a lot
cards.
of there is, and there's a lot of equipment. Like if you look at the equipment we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equipment at rare slot.
They said there's 80 pieces of
6,
equipment in the
7,
set.
8. Yeah, so we've already seen eight equipment pieces, all very different.
Yes.
I I mean, and I love the equipment I've seen so far. Like all of them are so unique and really cool.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be definitely some unique stuff. You know, once again, we're not really hitting on the cards that are the new cards that we've seen, just because there's going to be so many new ones that we're
Yeah.
going to see in general. And I think that's really really cool.
Yeah. It's going to be a good time. I think the set is going to be obviously very big. I think I just want to obviously seeing these new Silver Age decks come out, the precons and everything. I'm worried that this is going to be less and less of a product. Obviously, it's less and less of a product for more franchise players. For newer players, it's still a fantastic product to pick up because you don't own any of the cards probably, and if you want to play this hero, there's still a lot of very good cards in them. But if most of these cards are going to be coming out in pen anyway, and nothing is exclusive to the decks, most people who are purchasing product already are going to just probably be building these decks and then just
Yep.
buying the singles, or they're going
And
to
I
have.
don't think that they
something there.
didn't make them foil either, right? Like the hero and the equipment, I don't think look foil.
No.
I wish that they did that. I love it when they make the heroes foil for
Yeah.
like specific for their decks, like their blitz decks.
Yeah, that
and
would
their
be cool.
equipment. I think that would make it more worthwhile to players to pick them up.
Yeah.
To like franchise players.
Yeah, I
to
don't know
pick
how
them
they
up.
plan that whole thing out just because like I know some of those cards are foil in their initial blitz decks, like Enigma, for
Yeah.
example, is foil in her blitz deck.
Right, but they should be because it's not a
Yeah,
base
because
set, they should be able to reprint it.
correct. Yeah, and I think that's at least how I'd imagine it being. I'm not sure why. Maybe it just helps with the price point, right? Of it being like,
Maybe.
okay, it's $20.
I
Like,
don't know. I still feel like $20 is a lot for what's in there.
I
But
mean, it's really like $12 plus a compendium of Wraith
yeah,
pack. So
plus the pack.
that's really the give up there. But
Yeah.
but yeah, so that, I mean, that's pretty much it. We're gonna call it here because I gotta get going in a bit. But
Yeah, no.
just wanted to say thank you all for your listener questions. I really appreciate it. We're hoping to just continue to push those out every single week, and we can get some ideas for topics and share them with you. And if that's something that you have, answer for, we love hearing from y'all. And that's kind of a great thing that we get to do, is share our community opinions together and see the things we want from new stuff. And I know there are people from classes that are just like, oh my god, I've really wanted this thing forever, and hoping they're going to get it, right? I mean, that's the joke, is that this is the cope-endium of Wraith. It's people are coping with the fact that they're hoping that they're going to get their favorite thing, like a way to play their hero in their favorite way in the set. And so I'm always just hopeful that everybody gets what they want, and it's going to be a fun time. So
True story.
but yeah, cool. Well, Nathan, they know where to find you at Bold Brew Games. If there's anything that you're doing over there, I know obviously you're now looking to make an ice crucible of Ice Vein, right? Or something of the sort. So that'd be cool. But obviously, if there's anything else you're doing, feel free to let them know. If you're up to anything.
Nope. I have not been able to touch it up. I saw videos planned out, but that might be a couple of weeks.
Gotcha.
No,
yeah.
just stay tuned.
Cool. Stay tuned. And then same for me. We're finishing stage A to Z this week, so that's going to be done. So very, very cool stuff. I'm very thankful. Again, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you all have a fantastic time in your day. I hope you all are as excited for Compendium of Wraith and Silver Age as we are. And as always, I hope you continue to have fun in the flesh and blood. And we will see you all in the next episode of the Common Language Podcast. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.